Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Khush aamdeed. Ji ayanu ishpata. Goedemorgen. Washmale pakhair ragale, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to World this morning. Jummah Mubarak. And right now, okay, I'm going to, give this to Shazad so he can continue with the greetings as well. Sorry, I felt a little too energetic.
Guten Morgen, hola, boyor, privet, kaifahal, halish shuma chatore, ahlan wasalan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, suavia, balli karaya, marhaba, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into PTV World. You watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very amazing, the only person who've actually had like 3 cups of coffee early in the morning, with Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello, Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. And a lot of people keep telling me it's not good for your health. So much coffee, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
really?
caffeine isn't really good, is it?
I mean, I don't know. I think, the person who's actually consuming it should actually know it
I
better.
don't have any issues with it, to be honest. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm even good to go for 2 more for the day. But, well, yes, any kind of addiction is actually not quite good. So in terms of caffeine, it makes you feel like having more and more even when you don't need it.
Yeah.
So I think that is where it goes wrong.
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
on a Sunday, if I wake
Do,
up, I
do you
feel
think that caffeine is addictive?
I think so. That's what I was going to say. So on a Sunday when I don't need coffee at all and I wake up and I feel like, okay, something is missing. So just for the kick of it, I will have a cup of coffee.
I think that's wonderful. If it suits you, you're happy with it, why not? I think everybody should go for it as well. But obviously in moderate amounts, you cannot go
Overdo,
excess.
yeah.
You please do not do it in excess as well. And there's one little thing which our team has forgotten today as well, and that is, Hasnan, if you're listening, we are missing a cup on the table, so I think it's better that you give it to us as well, and we can place it over here. But other
Right.
than that, ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very interesting show lined up because for the very first time over here in life, we'll be talking about people, who specialize in a field, but then, nobody thanks them. Nobody thanks them for the amount of work they do. Nobody thanks them for the kind of creativity they bring to the table. Nobody
Yes.
thanks them because they are the ones who actually drive a brand. What are we talking
Drive
about?
a brand, yes, but more than that, they actually drive an entire or generate a discourse on consumer behavior. They are the ones who sell the products of big companies who otherwise wouldn't be able to, right? I
Exactly.
mean, so if we haven't already made it clear, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about people in advertisement. Well, all sorts of people, right? Those who produce, those who come up with the ideas, those who film it, those who edit it. There's such a long line to people who actually make an ad come to life or actually, put it to visualization as well. So this is what we are going to talk about. Now, here's the thing, Shazad.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, this is, yes, like you said, it's the first time probably we're doing it on our show as well. And to be very honest, it never occurred to us. Like, just sitting, we talk about the product, but we never talk about the people who are bringing that product on our screen so
Yeah.
that we can be impacted by it or even, well, think about it as well.
That's true.
But advertisements have a great, great impact and they stay in your mind for so long, which is one of the ads that stayed with you for so long.
I
From your
think-
childhood, maybe.
Yeah, okay. So there are so many ads. There are a few ads which I like as well. There are a few ads from across the border which I like, but I cannot mention over here. But the 2 ads which I think I still remember, one is Dentonic.
Oh, yes.
And the other one was 090078601 telephone.
Telephone, yes.
Yeah, I hope that people remember that as
I
well.
do, I do.
But what about you? Which
I-
ads do you remember?
I do remember the Dintonic one, yes, but I very clearly remember the Ding Dong one, and that is because I think it was when PTV was the only channel, and a lot of dramas used to be aired in that. Ding Dong was one ad which would for sure be aired in every ad. I mean, I don't know, maybe they were
Exactly,
the
and
biggest
even-
sponsors even.
Yeah, and even during cricket matches as well.
Yes.
And I could think of other 2 as well, which I still remember. That was a shaving foam, Pehla blade chan, dusra cha chan, tisra cha 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 chan. This is what I remember as well. And then there was another one, bas 15 minute mein gori gori. And I think that now,
Gypsy
yeah,
lagao to.
yeah, because now I think that marketeers are more ethical, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Earlier, people didn't knew about all of these things as well, where now we know that Fair and Lovely has actually changed their name to
Glow and Lovely, whatever that's
Glow and
supposed to
Lovely.
mean.
So people are working in that direction, and there's more acceptability. And to be honest, I think what we really need to talk about is that the entire media is actually dependent on all of these advertisers and people or or all of these ads which we run as well, because otherwise I don't think that the media houses would be able to pay our salaries if they're not going to air these ads.
It is one of the most basic pillars of running this entire, well, media, like we're saying as well.
Yeah.
But the part I love about ads is, Shazad, how they want to incorporate the latest trends.
Exactly.
And you won't even feel it. I mean, okay, still talking about Ding Dong. So when cricket would be on, or when a series would be on, they would actually make a new ad of the animated cat in the cricket stadium, flipping a ding dong and eating it.
Yeah.
So like it would make me feel as a child, it would be like, oh, she's in the cricket stadium, which means cricket is going on, let's watch the match. Isn't it fun? I mean, but they're so brainy, the
And
people.
not just that, you know, next time when you're going to go play cricket, you'll actually make sure that you have a
You-
bubble gum in your mouth
Yes.
as well, and then you're
It's
going
so
to do all
cute.
the styles, and then, you know, making sure that you're going to utilize all of those people who inspire a million other people as well. For example, Shahid Afridi, Boom Boom these days.
Yes.
You know, it's everywhere. So it's very important. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pay tribute to all of those people who put in, because when we talk about advertisers, ladies and gentlemen, it's not like a 9-to-5 job. It's you can be on call 24/7, 365 days a year. And then, you know, you go back home, your wife doesn't like you, your kids do not recognize you.
It does happen.
You're not there on need because you have to go to this certain channel, you have to give them their DVCs or probably upload the newer ads. You know, since it's working, and it's working 24/7, 365 days, and advertisers, to be honest, make a lot of money. I'm not going to say that they do not, but good advertisers only. You know, there are people who make every sorts of ads. You know, for the Churan ad, you might not get a person who's actually going to be making good amount of money in life as well. But today we're paying them a rich tribute, just like we pay rich tributes to doctors, lawyers, you know, people from every walks of life. Just like we have awards for journalists, TV stars, drama stars. I think that we really need to celebrate these people as well, which is why we're going to play a song to pay them a rich tribute. And then when you guys will come back, we're actually going to thank our sponsor as well. Go ahead and take a listen, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are celebrating the advertisers.
Let's do it.
I'm a superstar, मैं हूँ सबका यार Chet pen tie है मेरा attire Yes I'm single, हुआ ना मैं mingle Spikes मेरा hairstyle, face पे smile Sunglasses black, हाथ में नया mobile क्योंकि भाई I didn't compromise in style क्योंकि भाई I didn't compromise in style Adman, मैं हूँ Adman I'm a superstar, मैं हूँ सबका यार न Audi न Ferrari, Mercedes मेरी सवारी हर फन मोला, मुझे न लिए होला दिन हो या रात में भी हर दम तैयार क्लाइंट की कॉल को न करूँ इनकार क्लाइंट के इशारे पे हाजिर है क्रिएटिव प्रिंट टीवी डिजिटल सब मिलना रेडी मिले सब रेडी वो भी एक कॉल में ब्रांड बिल्ड करना हमारा ही तो काम है एडमैन मैं हूँ एडमैन I'm a superstar मैं हूँ सबका यार एडमैन मैं हूँ एडमैन I'm a superstar मैं हूँ सबका यार बनाता मैं डरा में भी चलती मेरी फिल्म भी जिंगल हो या डीवीसी बन जाते दोनों ही सरकारी प्राइवेट कोई भी हो स्टार्टअप सबका यार सबके साथ कारोबार मिस्टर हो या मिसेस मैडम हो या सर मिनिस्टर या सेक्रेटरी सब भाई के यार पीएम हाउस हो या राजा बाजार हर जगह चले तेरे भाई का राज एडमैन मैं हूँ एडमैन I'm a superstar मैं हूँ सबका यार एडमैन मैं हूँ एडमैन I'm a superstar मैं हूँ सबका यार क्योंकि फाइटर भी मैं डिजाइनर भी मैं डायरेक्टर भी मैं फिल्म मेकर भी मैं ऑफिस बॉय भी मैं मैनेजर
मैं हूँ superstar सबका यार मैं हूँ Adman. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by an Adman as well, and he happens to be Mr. Sardar Zahir. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum salam. It's very nice to be here with you. You guys are really good entertainer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. But you know, we were not as good of an advertiser, you know, which you probably are, which is why we have invited you over here to talk about this very important topic, where how advertisers get unnoticed, and you know, the advertisement itself is going to get all the vibes and all the attention as well. So how, first of all, as an advertiser, you see yourself, and what would you like to say, you know, when we are actually celebrating and cherishing the efforts they have put in to make sure that the world which looks like the way it is today, they are or they have been contributing to it?
Thank you. It's a very good question that you have put in. We call ourselves Adman.
Yes.
In little meaning, it means a person, you know, who solicits advertising, who write copy or something like that. But in real way, you know, we do a lot more things for our client, the way you showed the song as well. So launching of this song and initiative was to pay tribute to the people like us who are working round the clock like a fireman.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, you know, anybody can call them So
Yeah.
they have to come and help their clients move forward and communicate better.
Exactly.
So when we, in fact, launched this Adman initiative, the reason which came in our mind is to celebrate and to pay tribute to them and to make them motivated about the jobs they're doing. So the first thing obviously was to bring them in a form that the job they're doing is a heroic job.
Yes.
So when it comes to you think about being a hero, so there are characters in the world that came in your mind.
Yeah.
Those are superheroes. So Adman is a superhero with a superpower. It's a jugaad man. He can do anything for the client.
I
If
like
a
it.
client asks, okay, I want to place an ad in the morning, and if he
It will
receives
be done,
call,
sir, it
yeah,
will be done.
Yes. So he will never say no. He always say yes, and he always try to help the client to communicate better with the audiences. Whether it's a national emergency, like in
Yes.
COVID days, even if you guys trying to call someone, but you get the message how to save yourself from spreading COVID.
Yeah,
So
and now
that's-
they're talking about vaccination, so they're up to date.
Exactly, they're up to date. So they're working around the clock, obviously, to meet the national challenges as well, and to meet, obviously, the clients' challenges as well. The advertiser that you call, obviously, who pay all of us, in fact, including the ad man and the media as well. Because if ads are flowing, that means the media
Everything
channels
is
will
in
be
place.
flourishing, yes.
And which is why I have a very interesting story to share as well, because initially when I, kind of on my journey towards television and, becoming who I am today, so this is one thing which I learned, while I was working for this private channel as well, where, we used to plan our shows according to the taglines of the brand.
Oh.
For example, if the tagline would be hum jaisa koi nahi of a brand, so you would actually plan a show something which will incorporate hum jaisa koi nahi.
Oh, wow.
So this is
They
how
pay you for that, right?
No, it's not that. So that we can pitch it to them, and then the ad man comes in from an agency, and then he'll be like, okay, you're incorporating our brand vibe into it.
Right,
So we're going to
right.
sponsor your show. So it's a multilateral.
We
Wow.
call it content integration.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And now that we're talking about it, it actually makes sense that why the show Mad Men is called Mad Men, because
Yeah.
it's admin. All right, that's totally fine. But you let me know one thing though. So the people you take on board for endorsements or to be the face of your ad, do they count as admin as well? For example, the highest ever paid model, Gigi Hadid. So just a few days back, one of her videos came out of makeup. And I was shocked because she's always either sponsoring, Estee Lauder for that matter, or MAC, or so many makeup brands, or skin brands for that matter. And she said in the video that for my own skin, I use St. Ives scrub. It's a drugstore scrub, and it's hardly few dollars. I mean, even we use it for our daily lives. But why would you sell something that you're not actually a part of and actually impact millions of
The
consumer
ad man
behavior?
makes you do that.
Yeah, it's so smart.
See, on personal level, somebody should not do it. But when you become celebrity,
There's no
obviously everybody will
ethics.
come to you and have to say, I mean, if I would give example of a Pakistani and our very own celebrity Shahid
Yes,
Afridi.
yes.
So you will see, him on TV selling almost everything,
Everything, yeah.
from cricket to confectionery to drink to mobile phone,
Electronics,
T-shirts, yeah.
everything. That doesn't mean that he has to use all those things himself.
That's true.
Exactly.
huh?
I mean, there is some
But
fantasy.
we expect
You
now, as
expect a
consumers.
fantasy, into advertising as well. That's one part. So just believe it's a
Yeah.
fantasy.
And not just that, I
everything
think
is-
I have a correction over here as well,
Okay.
that the highest ever amount paid was to Cristiano Ronaldo, and that was $1 billion.
For the
But,
laser, was it?
$1 billion and it was
papers.
paid by Nike as well, because he
Wow.
all over the world has maximum following on all social media
Yes.
platforms. He's the one who's got the biggest and the largest number of followers as well, which is why Nike said that, okay, in 2 years' time, we'll probably recover all our money as well. So, it's not Gigi Hadid, it's Cristiano Ronaldo.
I was talking about right now,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yes, that makes sense as well. Thank you for correcting me.
No problem.
But now, talking about, the pandemic has actually not only changed the industry, but it has actually shifted the entire operationality of every industry, so of course ads as well. I don't think a lot of people are now looking into or investing in TV ads, rather digital, because each and every single person is on their phone 24/7. So that was the first thing you do when you wake up. We check our phones, right? So, and it does work on the consumer behavior where our eyes are watching. I mean, of course, they record everything, right? Temperature on the screens, whatnot. So is it going to change the industry? Is it going to go in demise? Is it going to boom with everything digital?
I don't think so. See, TV, you can't, these mediums are the reality. They will stay. You know, either digital media, definitely it's changing many things for us, but for this epidemic, you see, in the beginning, people were in their houses when it was almost a lockdown. They were all watching TV. Yes, few were, obviously they were using internet as well, but it was most of the time they were watching TV, and more advertisers were trying to put their brand on the TV rather than, obviously digital media, because of internet accessibility, almost now 90% of Pakistan is internet covered. So people do watch content on digital media as well, but TV is reality. It will stay there for, you know, few more years. I can see that. Even in the developed world, TV is there. Obviously content keep changing every day. You know, it will be more localized, maybe it will be more niched, but TV will be there.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for saying that. But yeah, and you know, where you said that it's going to take a few more years as well, and probably I think that I'm going to agree to it, because you know, now when we see that, alhamdulillah, our parents, you know, they're not as habitual of looking into their cell phones as we are, and we have a youth bulge, so obviously the requirements are very different for internet. You know, the kind of digital ads would come will be with a very different pitch than the ads we'll see on television as well. But now, since we are celebrating all of those people who make it work, you know, make this industry work as well, because without advertisement, I don't think that the industry itself can survive. You know, that's very important aspect. Now, let's just, you know, share their heartfelt challenges for all of those people who have to go through as well, because when you go to the client says something else. Now you come back to the person who's actually going to air your advertisement, he's got different requirement, and you're somewhere in the middle of those two bread pieces. You have been squished over and over again, and you know, every time you're going to be in a conversation with Adman, he'll be like, "Ho jayega sir, done." But I'm done, sir.
Yeah, it's like that. As you see, every client, you know, nobody mention us that we have good budget. You know, every client always wants us to work. Okay, you just bring the budget to us, and then we'll see to
work
it.
around it.
Exactly. So sometime, you know, but with our obviously experience, we are able to judge at some time that we have to obviously study the client, its product, market, and then its production, or whatever the products are they're selling. Unless it's not a cause marketing, which is, you know, a government or the developmental sector do, which obviously they don't want to bring any money, but what they want is everybody should, you know, recall those messages at least, or they should adopt some behaviors they want them to adopt. Either it's washing hands for 20 seconds.
But you know, I've got something interesting to add over here, you know, because for the last, alhamdulillah, now from 2008 till 2021, it makes 13 years. Every time anybody is going to contact me from an agency, you know, the first thing they're going to say is, "Sir, budget nahi hai." You know, in 13 years, in these past 13 years, I've never ever heard somebody saying, "Sir, jitne paise mangenge milenge." Never. They will never say that. They will always be like, "Sir, budget nahi hai." I mean, how can you actually come across a situation like that, you know, for more than 1 decade? You know, so it's a tool people use so that you can actually, you know, come down to, probably if you're asking 1,000 rupees, you know, they'll bring you down to 500 rupees, and then eventually be like, "Sir, hamare paas sirf 400 hi hai." You know, so I think that's the problem, and that's how they convince. You know, this is one thing which I'm sorry, but it's
that's
good.
an admin challenge, by the way.
This,
See,
I'm going to I'm coming to that, but this is one thing which I want to know.
Okay.
Now the problem over here is that, you know, I'm not blaming anyone, and I do not even want to, but because obviously everybody's got certain limitations and certain budgets, and I do not have any disagreement with that. But the problem is, why can't you say that right on my face when the very first time we were meeting? You know, so initially you'll be like, "Haan sir, ho jayega." Uske baad eventually after a week's time, "Sir, you know, we are having a little bit of difficulty. There's a glitch, you know, so we'll have to come down to 500. Okay, 500. Okay, Janu, kar lenge, no problem." And then eventually when the check comes in, oh, it's 400. Oh, sir, wo tax bhi to deduct hona tha. Why do you have to do that? You know, why can't the advertisers say it on our face in the very first meeting when we meet?
Actually, you see, advertiser, they are not going to contact you directly. When
The
they do
agency will.
contact you directly, things are different for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, they could say to their agency, I want this person, but I'm not going to pay you. I'm giving you media buying. So out of that media buying,
You can
you
say
have
whatever.
to, take care of your people as well and this production as well.
Yeah, that's
Even
All
see,
right.
government is not paying for creative work in Pakistan. All the government ads, whichever agency is making those advertisements, they are free of cost. They are being paid for the commission, which actually they get from the media houses. It's not a client paying to the agency for the commission. They are getting
So
it
which
from
is
the
why,
media.
you know, they kind of bring you down to a point where, you know, you are going to say no, and then eventually they'll raise or increase 50 rupees and then be like, okay, you know, so they're going to save 50 for themselves
Yeah.
and give us 55
That's
probably
really-
or 50. So that's how it is.
You can count it that way, but let me be very straight. Obviously, it's an
Yeah.
industry problem, and you rightly identified it. We always wanted, obviously, being agency person, if you ask me, I want to pay well to my people and the people to
So
whom
what
I
you're trying
work
to
with.
say is that there's literally no
Yeah.
budget.
So you
Every
guys,
time
let me-
you guys go.
Obviously,
All right,
if,
let me
if
mo-
I get no budget, obviously I have to be straight with you.
Yeah.
I have no budget with me, but whatever you say, you tell me. That's how we deal. If
But this
you
is what
tell
I
me,
think,
okay,
if you guys don't have budget, why is there need for you to work? I mean, you know.
because at the end we have to run our business.
Exactly.
See,
So which
we
means
have
that
to
you're earning
see-
something out of it.
Obviously.
Well, otherwise, why
obviously.
would you do it? So give us
Yeah.
something
You're-
as well. You know,
you're putting him
Pattu
under
lenge
a
aao
lot
hamare
of
liye bhi.
pressure.
Hamari
Because
pattu ki tarah.
for you also have to see the lifetime value of your work with
Of
somebody,
course,
and
of
we have to also have to see the lifetime
I
value.
have another
Okay,
point.
you guys,
No,
hold on.
But I
I'm-
have another point as well. You know, if we have to see the lifetime value of our work, then why don't you give us the rights that every time our piece of work is going to go on air, that you guys will pay us? Why don't you do that then? You know, because it is about the lifetime value of our
We
work,
can
right?
talk on that.
All right. So let's
I'm
just
sorry, but
hold
yeah.
on to that thought as well. But now let's study how Pakistani audiences actually takes in the ads that Pakistani advertisers put out, right?
I'm having fun today.
Yeah,
go ahead,
it's an
Yeah, yeah.
interesting segment. So you let me know how are Pakistani brands operating, I mean, in terms of data. So if I were to, let's talk about shoes, and if I'm looking for shoes in a Pakistani brand, are they getting my data through, like, is it first-hand data that they're getting? Or are they using Facebook or Google for that? Is it third-hand data? And what suits them best? Are they even working to improve it?
Well, you see, most of the brands in Pakistan, especially the SME brands,
Yes, yes.
they are not able to
Get
afford,
first-hand.
afford obviously large-scale research or the data that they probably dig in themselves, or they can afford big research companies fee for doing the same job.
Okay.
So what they do is they obviously rely on our expertise.
Okay.
The ad agency people. So we obviously have research numbers with us because of the reason we are working for different clients, and we are working with a different set of audience. So we understand audience well. So we advise them that what medium can work for them with the budget they have and the target audience they are targeting. For example, if it's obviously a female
Yes.
lawn brand, which is obviously very popular
Yeah, it is.
between the audience in the Pakistan. So we would see that what is the competition doing. See, we always we call it point of parity.
Okay.
So we have to determine first what is competition doing. So if the competition is on TV, they have to go on TV. If the competition is in print media, they have to go in print media.
That makes sense.
And then again, if they are not able to afford what the competition is doing, then we have to come up with some guerrilla ideas for them. What they
To
can
make
do
do.
that, obviously they also have a right to sell their product. They have a right to make their consumer aware about what they're doing, what the
Yes.
product is. So that's how we do it.
That makes sense as well. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, if it still sounds easy, let me tell you, it requires a lot of brain. I mean, in all the semesters when I was studying advertisement, I always got a C grade. I could not just ace it. But here's the thing, you know, when I say it requires a lot of brain, because they have to put the idea across. So I remember, चाय बनाए खूब हलीब सबसे गाढ़ा दूध हलीब ठीक है it's one thing. Now if anyone would ask me, or if people will talk about which is the best milk for tea, and it would suddenly occur to you, oh, Halib is the thickest, why don't we use it? Sorry for the names, it was just on top of my head. So this is brain that is going in, even developing the lines that would stay with the audiences, right?
Yeah.
Sabse gaada doodh li. Right. So, can anyone be a part of this industry? Do you really have to study to be a part of it? Does it require a lot of brain? Tell me all about it.
Yeah, you see, traditionally there are many people in advertising industry. They did not have proper, obviously, education of marketing or advertising.
Okay.
But since the people of my age, I can see I joined this industry in 2001.
Okay.
So I studied advertising as a major during my MBA. And a lot of people, obviously, now they are part of industry. They are highly qualified. Most of them are MBAs or BBAs, at least in the profession they are doing.
Right.
So not everybody can become, but obviously
It's a painstaking profession.
creativity comes from any person.
That is true.
People with finance background, they perform well in advertising. People from HR background, they perform well in advertising. So it not necessarily sometimes that the people who holds marketing degree in their hand, you see them a successful admin or advertising professional.
Got it.
Sometimes people with creative skills, having a finance background, can make justice to the profession. Sometimes HR people, and sometimes even a sportsman can do the justice.
Exactly, that's very true as well, which is why, I even I remember the tagline as well, isko laga dala to live
Live
jingle.
jingle, but that's not Pakistani.
So even if it's not Pakistan, it's
Yeah.
an ad which has
It's
had an
yeah.
impact on
Yes.
us as well. And since we talk about music as well, and we say that music has no boundaries, I think same is the case with ads.
Of course.
Because now,
It's a product.
ladies and gentlemen, it's a global village, as we say. Everybody's ordering stuff. Everybody's ordering stuff on online platforms as well, and you get your stuff from different parts of the world, which does not really make a difference. It's just about who can sell better. But sir,
Literally.
before we wrap up this segment as well, anything you want to say to all of those admin who are out there? It was great to have you and somebody who's actually come up with a concept where you want to cherish the doables of the people who actually are in the industry as well. So please go ahead, talk to them, say whatever you feel like.
Thank you. I just want to tell all of you, my industry fellows,
Yes.
that you're doing a great job.
Aw.
You are helping the nation. You are helping brands. And you're doing a lot of things for yourself, for your families, for your friends, and for this country. Proud on yourself.
Yeah.
We are proud on you.
That is very sweet.
Wonderful.
as well.
Thank you very much,
so
Sardar
much.
Zaisa, for
Thank you.
joining us. It was wonderful to have you, and he's actually even gifted us 2 shirts which says Adman at the back as well. Ladies and gentlemen,
One more thing
Yeah,
for the
sure.
audience
Of course,
as well.
please.
Yeah, go ahead.
If they are watching this show and if they put any comment on your Facebook or any platform that
Yeah.
you're using, they can also have this shirt. We will courier them.
Oh, amazing.
yeah, it
Only
says-
one qualification. They have to work
Huh.
in the agency or at the client side.
Huh.
Any admin will deserve it, and it will be from
Okay.
us free.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. It was wonderful to be in conversation right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with something very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time in the history of the Navy, the 3 world's biggest navies, US, China and Russia, are converging and collaborating under the Pakistan's Navy Amman 2021 maritime security exercises. Not just these big 3 of world's navies, but 42 other international navies, including UK, Turkey, Italy, Australia, are participating with the warships in first ever and largest multinational maritime exercises under the hosting of Pakistan at Arabian Sea.
Amman exercise arranged by Pakistan Navy is taking place, and Amman with the cry of "Together for Peace" is going to be held from today onwards. Today is the first ceremony, the flag hosting ceremony. Behind me, these poles, they will fly. Flags will be hosted from different countries, 45 plus countries who have come to participate in this exercise. This goes to show the effort which Pakistan Navy has put in bringing all these countries together on one platform, and that is Together for Peace. You can see the naval ships behind me, and you can see on this side the guests, which includes the naval officers, the senior naval officers, not only from Pakistan, but 45 other countries. Their delegations are here. The military attaches of their embassies have arrived, and a short while from now, the opening ceremony will take place, which is the flag hosting ceremony. And the commander, Pakistan Navy's Karachi command, is basically Commander Pakistan Fleet rather, is going to basically address, and then there's going to be flag hosting by all the 45 countries that are participating. Their military attaches and representatives will stand in front of those poles, and the flags and the ceremony will go underway. And you can see behind me that this is the atmosphere around here, and PTV World will keep on showing you the live updates as this exercise progresses in the coming days. This is Raza Khan reporting for PTV World.
All right, this was Raza Khan. Thank you so much, our senior correspondent for PTV World, for enlightening us and being there and actually, presenting the visuals as well. I think it's really interesting, Shahzad.
Exactly.
It's the first time for a lot of things in terms of this exercise.
Since you mentioned that it was the first time as well, so ladies and gentlemen, it was the very first time the US and Russia are actually participating in such an exercise as well, and that too together. So obviously it highlights the geopolitical importance of Pakistan itself. Absolutely. And I think it's a wonderful job, it's a wonderful initiative. And for all of those people who've managed to make sure that, all of these countries are going to participate in the naval exercises, which we are calling Amman, ladies and gentlemen, I think they've done a great job. A rich tribute to all of those people who are out there and all of those people who are participating.
Absolutely. Pakistan always stands for peace. We know that. And there is no boundaries to peace when it comes to Pakistan as well, which is why we are able to unite, around 45 countries for this exercise as well. And speaking of peace, Shahzad, Pakistan is really adamant on maintaining peace, especially with the neighbors and in the region as well, which is why we're like absolutely, how do I say it, like the strongest, strong brothers with China as well. I
mean, which is why we say Pak-Chin Dosti Wongswai, ladies and gentlemen, and for all of those Chinese brethren who are out there or who probably are over here in Pakistan and are watching us, Happy New Year. Everybody knows that, you guys are celebrating, and from today onwards till the next 7 days, they'll be celebrating, there'll be holidays and there'll be a spring festival. So we wanted to wish them a very Happy New Year, because this is the year of the ox, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some good tributes which we want to share with all of you as well, because over here in Pakistan we have people who are in love with Chinese people, their language, and they have been gifting some of the pieces of work they have done by themselves to the Chinese people as well. And today that's what we're going to be focusing on as well, which is why we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by a singer who actually sang 3 songs in Chinese so that she can gift it to the Chinese people as well.
So
ladies and gentlemen, she is Miss Sheikh Umme Habiba. Hello, assalamu alaikum, ni hao, han hao, nina.
Wa alaikum assalam, ni hao ma.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you. But first things first, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually going to share one of her videos with you guys. Go ahead, take a look. I mean, you guys will come back. We'll make her sing in Chinese. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
开在
मुझको याद नहीं ओ ये एक ख्वाब था मान ली जंगवानी
I think I just loved it. I think it's a.
It was so sort of mellow, but it stays with you in a good mood as well. So first of all, I think first things first, Umme Habiba, what inspired you to first of all adopt the Chinese culture and then, well, create the perfect blend with this song was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I myself, I love Chinese music from a long time.
Oh,
and we used to visit
interesting.
China very often. So every
Okay.
time we used to visit, we used to take care and we used to listen Chinese music and see the culture, see the business, what they're doing. So when I started learning music, so I always wanted to do at some point in my life that I could, collaborate Chinese with Urdu.
Yeah.
And these songs are sung by Teresa Tang originally,
All right.
who is known for a queen in China.
Oh wow, because of
So-
her voice, right?
Yeah. So it
Did you
says
learn the language itself, like the entire?
I started learning.
Okay.
I started learning in 2019. So I was done with my HSK1, which is first level of Chinese. But by the time I was starting the part 2, the corona came.
Oh.
So I had to stop. I'm going to continue
So
again.
do you still remember what you've learned in HSK1 as well?
And
Bits and pieces,
A little
maybe.
yeah,
bit.
the
But-
practice.
Yeah, obviously it takes practice as well, and we hope and pray that whatever your goals are, you can fulfill them. And ladies and gentlemen, not just that, we've actually been joined by Muhammad Alian over here as well. He's a great musician. He plays a lot of different instruments. So Alian, how are you? Assalamu alaikum. Alian is good. It's just that it's
He's
his
just in a
first
state
time
of
on
shock,
television as
probably.
well. Yeah, so he's just observing today. So it's better. It's our pleasure to have you on our show. It's wonderful. But Umme Habiba, now coming
He's
back
so
to
cute.
you, coming back to you, what I wanted to know was that people usually pick up on very conventional side of music, where because they actually want to be superstars, they actually want to be. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have to
Hold on to that thought
Yes.
as well. Because right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are again taking you back to Karachi, where a joint military exercise, Navy exercise actually, is happening. It is for maintaining peace and stability not only in the region, but in the entire world. 45 countries are coming together. Right.
Exactly,
so-
and we'll have to cut our program short over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's take a look.
जिनमें उर्दन मोहम्मद अमजद खान नियाजी का इस मौके पर पैगाम पढ़कर सुनाएंगे। पैगाम के बाद परचम पार्टी तकरीब में एंटर होगी। गन सलूट्स के साथ ही कौमी तराना सुनाया जाएगा, जिसके बाद कमांडर पाकिस्तान फ्लीट, जो कि चीफ गेस्ट भी हैं आज के, वो इस तकरीब से खिताब करेंगे।
Commander 25th Destroyer Squadron, to read out Chief of the Naval Staff's welcome message for this ceremony.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Rear Admiral Naveed Ashraf, Hilal Imtiaz Military, Tamgha Basalat, Commander Pakistan Fleet, distinguished guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and a very